Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass with JB, Millie, and Smash!
Hey everyone, welcome to another video on the JV
Hello.
and Millie channel. As always, today we are joined by Smash.
Hello.
And we are going to be reviewing today, straight out of nowhere, Scooby Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. So this is one that I've maybe seen a couple of times. JB, I think you've seen it a few times as well.
Yeah, I think watching it for the review was maybe my third or fourth viewing.
And Smash, have you seen this one before?
To be honest, this is the first one I've only watched once so far.
Okay, well, with that being said, it is like the newest one, so...
So I guess because it is relatively new, people listening, please be aware that for all, there's nothing really groundbreaking story-wise to cover, really. I'm just going to put a spoiler warning at the start of this, so if you haven't seen the film yet, you know, maybe watch the film first and then, you know, come back to the review.
Yes, so I guess with that in mind, this is the part where we normally go over the plot of the movie. So again, if you've not seen it before, or if you've not seen it for a while. So in Scooby Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, we start off with a kind of Mystery Inc. mid-investigation. You're about to get that normal, like, unmasking scene as they introduce the story. And Scooby... Something happens to Scooby. He acts a bit strange and then just runs off. And everyone's kind of concerned and, like, you know, the gang chase after him, trying to find out where he is. And he's gone to nowhere to meet Courage, the Cowardly Dog. So the two dogs meet, the gang catches up with them, and the two universes collide, is all I can say. There's, like... lots of moments with this, like, the Courage characters like Eustace, Muriel, interacting with the Scooby gang. And I think the big part of the movie is just about these two universes meeting. But incorporated in that, there is a mystery. There's these giant bug creatures, or as Velma tells us, cicadas, who are, like, kind of part of this evil plan to try and, like, bring all the gold to Muriel, Eustace, and Courage's house, and ultimately there's a unmasking at the end where we see some nostalgic Courage villains. So I feel like that's the plot, JB?
Yeah, not much to add really. It's a bit of a wacky one, but I don't know. It's almost very rewatchable for me in many regards because of its wacky nature, but maybe that's because I'm a bit of a weird one.
See, I think I enjoyed it more rewatching it for this review, but I think it's also, like, the hindsight of speaking to Marty Grabstein, who voiced Courage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that interview's on the channel, but I feel like seeing it after that added, like, an entire new level to it, which was kind of exciting.
It was quite surreal to watch it back after speaking to Marty. Again, if anyone hasn't seen that episode, I'll link it in the description, and that'll be at the end card for this video. But it was almost like they did a few moments and it almost like left me with more questions that I wish I'd asked, even though I did watch the movie again for that interview where they do like a really high-pitched scream, and I'm like, was that edited or can they actually do that? Like, because it was just fun.
It was really fun. So, getting into the episode, the first thing I want to talk about is the art style for Mystery Inc. Like, they made the colours a lot brighter again for this movie.
See, it's weird. Maybe it's because I think at the start, well, I don't know, Daphne was back to having her black eyes, but she almost seemed a lot more tan than in Sword and the Scoob.
Yeah, it was kind of, I want to say, is it 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, the Curse of the 13th Ghost, where they had the bright kind of more colours for the gang, and then they kind of toned them down, went a bit more classical, I think, in the last movie. And then here they're really bright again. Smash, did you kind of notice an art style change?
Yeah, and I was wondering if it was because they were trying to mesh the two art styles of Courage and Scooby, but at the same time, it didn't feel like either of them had a, like, huge drastic change. I think it really was more so of a color difference. I mean, you could see here and there, you know, little differences of specific art style changes, and there's some behind the scenes stuff that I've been told, I'm not sure how 100% true it is, that we can get into eventually, specifically about, like, animating the movie and whatnot. But so I I don't know. It definitely does differ from Soarin' the Scoob though, and so we've like gone from this trilogy art style ish to going back, almost to another art style that they'd done before to now, another new one that also borrows from other ones we've seen. It's weird, but yeah, I did notice, little differences.
Yeah. I think, like you say, that it maybe was about bringing the two art styles together, and I think ultimately they did blend together really well in the end. Like, I think if you consider, like, when they talk about joining two art styles for Scooby Doo, I get taken back to the 52nd anniversary thing of Scooby Doo, Where Are You Now? And that was just a bit messy. So I kind of like, that they joined two art styles together. In my opinion, they did it quite well. But something else I got from the start of this movie is, like, Scooby's modern now. Like, they have brought it into the 21st century quite prominently. Like, the last movie was quite centered around technology, and it was about this phone screen. The phone screen couldn't change, the battery ran out, and that was kind of key to the story. And in this one, like, Scooby-Doo starts, like, that Shaggy and Scooby are on this app about trying to address their fear and stuff. And I don't know, I'm just like, okay, I feel like Scooby, it didn't have the technology stuff for a while, other than, like, creating an army of creatures in, like, Monster of Mexico and stuff. But, like, in terms of phones and stuff, I feel like it's quite recently taken a modern twist.
Yeah, see, it's weird. I feel like they almost did, like, massive robot things before they even did, like, phones. But I think the first one to do it was probably What's New.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, the villains always have this mass technology to, like, create these creatures and stuff. But the gang don't get a mobile phone until, like, a few movies ago.
It's crazy. So, I guess just going over this opening scene a little bit, the clown is unmasked, which is also Marty Grabstein, which is cool, because again, it's just so amazing to hear their actual voice coming out of a clown. Like, it's almost their natural voice, to be honest. So, like, you could almost line up their actual voice in the interview to the clown. And then, thank goodness, the Courage Panic theme starts playing to block out Velma's voice, which I was just a big fan of. Like, can we just get the theme song whenever Velma's talking? That's my opinion.
I didn't know Velma's voice in this one,
As long as it's not there, I'm alright.
Did you notice? I guess I'm thinking about it, it is the nasally one, but, like...
I mean, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. I was just a bit like, yay!
Did you pick up on Velma's voice being different in this again, Smash?
I don't know. Because for me, I watched the transition from Mindy Cohn to Kate Micucci, and so, like, at this point, it's been, what, 6, 7 years now since she's technically been doing Velma, and so I'm like, to me, I'm used to it at this point, where I know a lot of people, well, especially, I'll say, for this movie, if not Return to Zombie Island, where a lot of people are going to be revisiting Scooby again. I definitely can see, people coming into this movie because it's Courage, or again, Return to Zombie Island because it's Zombie Island, and then being like, what is this Velma voice? Like, like, not used to it at all, but I don't know if I really notice a difference anymore between movies. Like, when you guys talk about her being more nasally or more of her natural voice and stuff, I'm always like, I don't know, it all sounds the same to me. Am I not paying attention enough?
No, I think, like you say, it's maybe more that you've had chance to get used to it. That, and I think JB and I can maybe be a bit more negative about things sometimes.
Well, I think it's like Smash was saying, like, we didn't really have a chance to get used to it. Like, one day we're watching Zombie Island with BJ Ward, who's like a sweet old grandma voice, who's like a nice, warm Velma. Like, you could imagine her talking to you about the war while making a cup of tea for you, and, like, you know what I mean? She's like a very nice, warm present. And then you've almost got the opposite end of that, which is like the really squeaky one, which, to be fair, and we've said this a few times, but in stuff like Be Cool, when Kate's just talking like themselves, it's actually very, very good. It's just when she purposely does the nasally thing that I just can't stand on. It's kind of like, I hope that in 7 years' time, if I'm still around, that I get used to it more. Because, like, if I don't get used to it, then I might...
Or that there's a different Velma.
I might die.
I was gonna say, at that point, we're gonna have a new Velma just because you said that.
I mean, like, if
Let's
we
do that.
if we had a child that spoke like that, I'd put them up for adoption.
JB, you can't say that. You
No.
cannot say that.
Hey.
Okay, back to the story of this a little bit. So, as JB was saying, there's the unmasking clown scene, and that's when Scooby hits that, like, iconic Courage music. There's, like, this weird, like, hallucination-y style visual that comes up. And Scooby's doing this dance. Now, the first time I saw this, I don't think I'd seen an episode of Courage. And I was like, what is this? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't like it.
I've got a theory.
But then when I'd seen the Courage series and rewatched this, I was like, oh yeah, I get that. That's fine now. But I feel like if you've not seen it already, this movie's off to a really, really odd start.
I have a theory, and I guess I want to get both of your opinions on this. I kind of think that this might be the first part of a trilogy or maybe a duology, because they say quite clearly that this sound wave, this frequency, is only detectable by dogs, and the next movie or a future movie is supposedly meant to be the crypto crossover. And they look like a superhero, so I'm gonna bet that they're in, like, Metropolis or space or somewhere significantly further off than where Scooby and Courage are. And I almost want to think that maybe Crypto heard the sound, but obviously they were too far away to get there by the events of this movie, so maybe that's how they're gonna reason that Scooby then goes on in the next couple of movies to collaborate with other kind of well-known, famous animated dogs.
That could be interesting.
But I don't know. Probably a bit out there, but it's just something that I was thinking, oh, I maybe End of them all teaming up. I mean, it like the Dog Vengers.
Endgame.
The Dogsters League.
Yeah.
What would you be, Millie?
Yeah. Is that... Oh, it's an interesting theory.
But we'll see, because we've heard nothing about the Crypto movie as of yet. There's been no trailer or anything.
I'm shocked because, like, not gonna lie, just going by, like, history of Scooby Doo, this is a completely different tangent, but I'm like, if you know, we look at, like, trends and history with Scooby Doo releases, I totally would have thought we'd actually, like, have the next movie, if not by now, within the next week or two. But we don't even have a trailer yet.
I mean, it's normally 2 a year, right? When did Courage come out?
Oh, when we were... It was graduation day for us. Which was...
Graduation day for us, which was the 7th of September. No. Yeah, was it your
Was
birthday?
it October?
Well, we spoke to Kate Melton about it. So it was after that. And we released the Kate Melton interview on the 8th of September.
We got... No, it came out on graduation, you said, which was the day before my dad's birthday, which was the 13th of September. That's when we got it in the UK.
And Sword and the Scoob came out February. We're literally, I think we're more or less days away from the 1 year anniversary of Sword and the Scoob.
So yeah. That kind of means if you allow 6 months, it's due around my birthday, like 13th of March.
I'm wondering if, because this also happened in 2020 when Scoob released, they only had one direct-to-DVD movie come out, which was Happy Halloween. And so Scoob came out and, well, okay, so the year prior, Return to Zombie Island had come out in October, and then nothing came out until May with the release of Scoob. Then the next one was Happy Halloween, which was like September, and then after that was Sword and the Scoob. Anyway, so I'm wondering if because this year they're doing Scoob Holiday Haunt, I wonder if they're only going to do one straight to DVD release this year. And so I'm wondering if they're kind of waiting to have it come out a little later in the year. So it's not like, here's a movie, then you have to wait like, you know, months and months until the Scoob one. But I don't know, because I from what I've been told, they are going to be treating the next Scoob movie, even though it is going straight to HBO Max, as a theatrical film. So like there's still going to be merchandise to buy. There's going to be toys and stuff that you can go grab, and action figures and plushies and whatever. So I'm wondering if they're, kind of putting more of their focus on that this year rather than the direct to DVD one, since they, maybe they were like, well, we just kind of had a banger of a movie, the crossover with Courage, which, as Marty had said, they sucked at marketing, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, that's just a theory I have. I'm wondering.
I mean, I think with that in mind, we can maybe assume the next Scooby movie is not going to be good. Like, I feel like...
Honestly, though.
Because, like, do you remember when we were doing these smash or passes, and it was like this thing where 1 week it was a smash, 1 week it was a pass, 1 week it was a smash, 1 week it was a pass, because it was like, they were like, okay, we're going to drive this movie, we're going to quickly get the next one out. We're going to drive with this movie, we're going to quickly get the next one out. And I feel like they're very in danger of doing the same thing here. Like, okay, well, we've got the Courage one, and that was like this collaboration after all these years. It was a great movie. Then, towards the end of the year, we've got the Scoob thing. Where do we fill the gap? What, like, idea do we have on the shelf that we've overlooked that we can just throw in here? Like, I just feel it's going to be rushed. It's going to be rubbish and not good.
I am worried about that, and like if the rumors are true that it's going to be this crossover with Crypto the Superdog, I'm like a little disappointed. Not that I'm like the hugest fan of Crypto or anything, but like I know the character enough, and like I saw the cartoons a few times here and there, and I just thought that'd be a fun idea to do, Scooby Doo with like a superhero dog that isn't Dynamite, but I'm like, if it is and they are treating it as just get it off, out to stores and don't say much about it, I'm like, oh, well, that's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. I feel like it is going to be a typical thing with Warner Brothers where, like, no matter what, it's not going to be marketed. For all we know, it could just, like, drop in Walmart tomorrow and it's like, all right, okay, they forgot to press release on this trailer this time round. Oh, what a shame.
I think, like, us as content creators and stuff do better at marketing Scooby Doo than Warner Brothers themselves.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's just crazy because it's like
they should be hired.
Even as content creators as well, it's like Warner Brothers has a limit that we don't. Like, it's almost like if they were the ones running a channel like this, every time they had an interview, there'd be no review that week or something like that. It seems like with Scooby, they've got like almost a bar of effort that they like have all their employees pouring a little bit of water into the gauge every time they do something Scooby related, and they like all get fired if they over exceed on that level. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know if this is like relevant really or not, but like I just feel like, when you spend time on Instagram, I get stuff recommended because of like, the algorithm and stuff from Scooby content creators. I've never had an official Scooby post come up on my like timeline or anything ever.
No, the only time I see it is when, like, say, Smash shares it to their story, or like Rihanna shares it to the story. Other than that, nothing comes up as recommended. Even though I'm pretty sure I follow the official page.
Is it how is it this bad that like today I had 3 different Scooby Doo posts recommended on like my like listing thing, and I'm not very good with technology, as you can tell, but none of them was like, oh, this is Warner Brothers, this is official. Like for Harry Potter, you have stuff come up, like I have stuff come up every day from their official page. And I love Harry Potter, but I never get like fan pages recommended. It's all that marketing that comes for Harry Potter because it's something they invest in and all that kind of thing.
That's the thing. I think Harry Potter's almost the bane of my existence in the Scoobyverse because for all I'm like, okay, Warner Brothers, I hope they go bankrupt, I hope they sell their stuff to Disney, but there is no way that Disney is going to pay what anyone would deem a reasonable price for Warner Brothers owning the rights to Harry Potter and stuff. Like, what price do you put on that?
It's like Warner Brothers got Harry Potter, and it's like, okay, we don't need to do anything else. Like we've done, like that's it. big project. This is going to make money for the rest of its life. Like the rest
Harry
of
Potter rights alone, films, merchandising, is going to be worth billions and billions.
So it's literally like at this point, they've almost gone, okay, let's just hand the business to the kids to have fun with what they want to do. It doesn't matter if it's not a good business plan, it doesn't have marketing or anything like that. Harry Potter's just going to carry it and it's fine. And it's like they don't care about anything else. Because honestly, I do have official like stuff for Harry Potter recommended to me at least 3 times a day. And those movies, like, I guess there's the remakes of, like, Fantastic Beasts, but I don't like them. In my mind, there's not been a Harry Potter movie for, like, what, how many years now?
It was in 2012, I think.
So,
I don't know.
10 years. Oh, yeah, because they just did the 10th anniversary thing, didn't they?
Oh, when it was like the anniversary of the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, yeah. But, like, it's been, like, 10 years since they last did an official Harry Potter movie, and they're still getting 3 adverts a day, so it's like... Come on, Scooby gets 2 movies a year. Try and do something, please.
What I've noticed with Scooby Doo, like on social media, because I mean, I'm the same way. I get a bunch of fan account stuff that pop up. I mean, granted, I follow a lot of fan accounts, but even just in like my what's that word? Recommendations. I get like just other accounts and stuff. I mean, and even accounts will find me because I post stuff about Scooby Doo, but and they'll post like, oh, it's this movie's anniversary or something, or oh, this next product is coming out or something, and then I get this actual official account, and it's this. I'm gonna be mean, but like these stupid little games where it's just a picture. And they're like, can you find Velma's glasses? And it's like, I saw it right as I was scrolling, and it's like they don't do anything. They're just like act like all it is kids following the account. And so they just have to like post these little kitty games that you can, do in 0.2 seconds.
I have more fun bullying the official account than I actually do enjoying it. Like, they released, I think it was for like a theme park or something, but it was like a picture of the whole Mystery Inc. gang, and they were like, which one are you riding? And I was just there like, well, okay, if we're talking about riding one of them, let's do a bit of that. And then they did something else like, what would you do for a Scooby snack? And I commented, oh, we need a Daphne snack, which a lot of people like, but then I got a reply saying, you're just sick, you make me feel sick. It was just
that was me off of like fan account. Just like, calm down, JB.
But oh my god, I love bullying the official Scooby account. That's why I'll never unfollow it. It's just it's my main source to make myself feel big and powerful.
Okay, we're gonna head back to the plot with this a little bit. So Scooby runs away, and then we get this scene where Daphne's like relatively funny, and she's like, sorry we didn't finish this properly, it's like family stuff, we've got to go, and they just leave the clown like tied up with the bags of money.
Yeah,
just like, okay, it's I guess fun, it's just different. But I don't know, again, working on Daphne's character a little bit there, I kind of like that I feel like Daphne and Velma have been more prominent in the last few movies. Like Velma. Oh yeah. Like, I know this is a bit early, but I love what Muriel does to Velma in this. Like, I feel like she just like Muriel's role in this movie is to wind Velma up, and I love it. I'm there for it. It's like, okay, you just keep upsetting her, please. I'm genuinely enjoying this. Because like JB said, she's got an annoying voice. It's not pleasant. So just to have Muriel going, do you know this? I know this one, and then giving her the answer, and she just keeps getting upset. It's like, yes, just keep winding her up. I'm enjoying this. I don't know why. Maybe it's very cruel at this point, but I'm kind of enjoying her being bullied. Yeah.
Like, I think one of my biggest regrets doing the channel and stuff will always be not reaching out to Thea White in time, because that would have been, like, just such a sweet person to talk to. So, R.I.P. Thea White, because they were awesome in this movie. Like, they actually added a lot.
They made Velma so bearable. They were helpful. You've got to hand that to them. Like, Velma may have been unbearable without them, so appreciate it, respect it.
But Velma's actually, well, I guess we'll speak to that later, but I actually do like, well, I wasn't annoyed at Velma in this movie, which, judging by what happens in the movie, is a bit of a surprise.
So, they all like run to the mystery machine. They're gonna chase after Scooby. Again, there's kind of a nice scene where they're paying. I just like what they do with the characterizations for like Fred and everyone in this as well. Like, I like how. So then we get the scene where the gang kind of run over to the mystery machine. They're gonna chase after Scooby. I think Fred gets some nice characterization at this point as well, because Shaggy's sat in the driving seat and he just stands there like. So Shaggy moves across, then Fred's kind of telling people off for not having their seatbelt. So again, I do feel like in the last few movies, it's kind of something we touched on with John Colton-Barry, but there's started to be a stage now where like Velma, Daphne and Fred are getting their like justice as well, in that they get more character building and just little quirks and things, which I think is quite nice normally.
You know what I like? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Jumping in here. I just want to say, I liked that, even if, everyone hasn't seen Mr. Incorporated or Be Cool or doesn't like either of them or something, that the creators themselves are still acknowledging them and using them to their advantage and being like, well, Daphne can be funny and she can be silly, and, Velma can have, she can be afraid and not want to admit it, different things like that. Or they can be from Crystal Cove now, and, just like taking little bits and pieces from these more recent series. I just find that fun. I'm like, okay, that to me is like not very specifically, but in a way like connecting the universes together.
I think so. It is nice because they do still, like you say, for all there's been like comments there on Because art style and stuff like that, they've still used a lot of the traits. Like we saw, I think it was in Happy Halloween, where like Daphne was pretty much straight off the page Be Cool.
Yeah, that was, literally exactly. And I guess this is a bit off topic, but I think like it's just crazy to me about people also kind of angry at the art style, because it does look a bit weird, especially I think Shaggy looks a bit weird. But like if they cancelled like Guess Who before it started and just did more Be Cool, I'd be happier, because it can be anything, but it's not boring. But Guess Who's just a bit like,
I mean, I feel like if they can do a full movie from puppets that was a bit out there, then people can leave Be Cool alone.
Yeah,
because that's certainly an improvement.
One of these days we should make like Smash or Pass puppets, and we should do like a little episode in like a puppet studio.
That would be fun.
That'd be so cute.
Okay, so at this point they cut to nowhere. They kind of build up that typical Courage kind of scene. Eustace is there. They put on that mask and that you see in like every episode of Courage.
Booga. And then...
Exactly, and then the two dogs meet, and that's when you kind of start to see all these creepy bugs and stuff chasing after them.
Yeah, they're like little cicadas, which I do like how they've like pictured them like coming out from like the floor and stuff, because it made it seem a bit more creepy. Yeah.
Now, madly, we've only just got to the titles. Like, this was a long intro, I think, but at the same time, it set the scene well, kind of did the purpose of introducing the two, bringing them together, and I have to say, I love the titles. I love the song. Like, it's a common theme throughout this movie, I think, that the music's quite good. But, like, the titles, you see so many classic villains. There's the Phantom, Space Kook, the Pirates, and I don't know, I just feel like they combine them really well.
There's some cool Courage ones as well, like Freaky Fred, the Eggplant Creatures, and again, a lot of these I know because before the Grabstein interview, we watched the whole of season 1 together. So a lot of these I think are from season 1. I don't know about the other stuff. But yeah,
so, comment on the opening. Again, this is a bunch of stuff that I've heard, that I've been told. I'm not entirely sure how accurate or true it is, but just want to throw it out there, because I have to say I really enjoy these opening credits too. They're a lot of fun, and I think it brought the two worlds together just in a fun, silly way. but it takes place in this like carnival, as you see, which has almost nothing to do with the movie. But I've been told that the original script for this movie, that they were going to originally be in this like carnival type setting and stuff, and so the opening credits almost mimicked. It was kind of like a shortened down version of what that story originally was, and then they decided to go with a different story, and they were like, oh, well, we already got the studio to animate that opening, so I guess we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, it's certainly quite... I mean, I'd agree that it doesn't have any relevance really at all. I guess it's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like we've had some different openings before. Like, we've had openings where like the art style is completely different to the movie, and you're almost like, no, I prefer the art style that we saw then. Like, what are you doing?
True.
But like, so I feel like there's often maybe been some miscommunication on titles. And this was another one, but at least this was one where it's kind of like, do you know what? It's fine. It was fun.
It was fun, yeah.
But like you're saying, there was all these like weird little rides. There was like this duck thing. There was pinball. It was a lot.
Yeah, I guess maybe also go along with like the song, the game of life, and the playing games. But again, it's just it's a bit odd.
Okay, so let me come back to the mystery machine. They drive in, kind of crush the cicadas to save Scooby and Courage. Muriel's inviting everyone in, and again, then you start to see more dynamics with Eustace kind of been around Shaggy and Scooby. Muriel kind of been like that motherly character, making everybody the Courage equivalent of Scooby snacks. And she's just sweet. I really do like Muriel's character in this when she's like, oh, are you a band of tinkers? There's that huge hair monster that comes out of the sink. Velma's facing the sink, right? And Courage is literally eaten by this monster, and Velma just sits there. I'm like, you're facing that way.
But she does have bad eyesight, so maybe that's it. But again, I can't talk because I'm literally... It's actually weird because I'm more or less, my like JB persona is pretty much Velma, because I always try and brand myself as wearing orange, and I'm blind without my glasses.
Don't worry, Velma's really intelligent.
Oh, I guess that's where I thought that.
I'm kidding, you're great, JB, you really are. So here's where I put my first note, because Muriel does the first riddle then that Velma doesn't understand. It's about the stamp that's always in the corner.
Oh, I should have prepared a riddle for this episode. If I hadn't been ill, I actually would have full on made like a riddle to give everyone. Oh, maybe next time.
Start Googling now. So everyone's kind of invited to the mayor's for dinner. There's the drive on the way there, so Eustace gets put with the two dogs, and then everyone else is in the mystery machine. The bugs kind of take over along the way and wreck Eustace's car, and we see a modified mystery machine where like Daphne's like equipped it with like grappling hooks and stuff, and again we're kind of seeing I want to say be cool Daphne.
I guess yes or no, because they were quite like fighting Daphne in Halloween and also in Sword and the Scoob, but I don't know. I didn't really get too many be cool vibes from this Daphne, except for maybe making the joke to the clown at the start. But I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention. I was more or less just getting like, what's new Daphne here? But
I think whenever I see a characterization of Daphne, I'm kind of like, oh, it's a bit like Be Cool, just because I felt like that's the time when Daphne had the most prominent like characterization. When they get to the mares, there's this kind of scene where there's the chairs that try to eat them. And you remember how I think it was in the last one when we'd gone from like, I think in the last episode we said, okay, so we've just had the trilogy where it's like, this can't be real, this can never be real, like this doesn't exist, this can't exist. And then in Sword and the Scoob it was a bit like, okay, so Merlin's a wizard, and they just leave that out there. And then with this, there's chairs that try to eat you, and they're never going to be explained away. Like, this is just normal.
It just irritates me because I love this so much, but the last 2 movies have told us that they are allowed to have stories like this. And then, for all Return to Zombie Island wasn't my least favourite, it's like, why couldn't we have this here? Like, if Return to Zombie Island was as dark in, not tone, but I guess animation style and visuals as Happy Halloween, and was allowed to be as supernatural as this movie, they could have done something that I think would have pleased everyone.
It's okay. And also, something else that kind of I pick up on here that I'm a bit like, yeah, don't like it, is, you know, when they're like, oh yeah, we're off the map, and nowhere's on a separate map next to the world map, and it's like, didn't Scooby just run here?
Well, technically they're on the map.
True.
Another map.
Yeah, but like another continent. Like, there's an ocean. We're presuming that Scooby-Doo's like, what, North America? This was down past South America, and Scooby ran there. The gang drove there, and we're like, okay.
I think you can actually map out where nowhere is, because I'm pretty sure it's based on a real place. Like, I don't know, like, I've seen like videos, but apparently there's a place called Nowhere that the original series was based off of. I don't know, it was like 3-4 months since we did that interview, and my research, it escapes me because I'm getting older.
I think a lot of people refer it to being in Kansas.
Maybe. That would make more sense than having it like map. So then they get like, so they're there for dinner, they serve that bread that's inedible, and at this point I have to, and Courage's teeth fall out.
Oh.
And at this point I have to like make a point. Courage's teeth make me feel pain. You know, because they've got those really 2 prominent holes in it. Like,
yeah,
it hurts me to look at Courage's teeth. Like, I just look at them, see the holes, and think about a really painful trip to the dentist.
True.
I don't know why, and I know that's a random point.
Does the Courage Funko Pop have the holes?
Yes.
Hey.
Ew.
And then when the teeth fall out, it was just like, that's even worse. No. But one thing I do like in this scene is Eustace's character. He keeps saying that Shaggy fella. And I love it. I don't know why. Like, every time he said Shaggy fella, I was just laughing.
I honestly, in a weird way, could see Eustace being like Shaggy's grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with how much they were like keen on the food, like, free food is free food.
Yeah.
So that's where he got it from.
Oh, and then
Grandpa
Shaggy's
Eustace.
like, I can't believe I'm agreeing with the angry old dude.
Yes. Oh, the Shaggy Eustace dynamic's amazing. The Velma Muriel dynamic's hilarious, and it's good. I like
Courage
it.
and Scooby.
And then the Scooby and Courage one is so cute.
I want to get a Courage plush and put them with the Scooby plushes.
One thing that I really liked for Courage's character is when they were incorporated into the typical Shaggy and Scooby disguise scene when they're like doing the chase.
Yes, because again, going back to the Marty Grabstein interview, watching season 1, you could have never guessed that. Like, 'cause there was a disconnect from me having watched that after the Courage movie, where, like, Courage is saying stuff like, I couldn't have done that if my name wasn't Jose Canseco, and it's not. But in that disguise scene, he actually is allowed to be more vocal with stuff like that, and I do like it, and I prefer it when Courage is a bit more vocal as opposed to just screaming, because for all the screams are funny, I do think it adds a bit more like comedic value and personality.
And especially when Scooby speaks, it's like, okay, if we're gonna have one dog talking, let's have them both.
True.
But yeah, it's just really nice to see them in that disguise scene. Then Velma picks up on a broadcasted signal, and the wall spins round, and they get taken into this kind of cave passageway system. And everything in the cave starts to like lift up, and so this is when she's starting to get like a sciencey element that'll make her happy.
Doesn't make you happy.
Yeah, and along this, there's kind of a time when Eustace is like, right, I'm leaving. He goes back to the house, and people just start bringing him, like, gold and diamonds and stuff, which I guess if you've seen the Courage series, that's pretty much what his character aspires to happen.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like, yay, he's getting what he wants.
in, like, the Return the Slab episode, where, like, there's demons literally at their door saying, return the slab, and he's like, what's your offer? He's, like, just trying to sell it, even though they're quite clearly under duress.
So it does fit nicely into the series. I like it. It's really well done. Also, his rap song, like straight out of nowhere, is just really funny.
Yeah, unpopular opinion, because I know a lot of people hate it, but I actually didn't mind it because I thought that it broke up sequences in a way that it wasn't just like, and again, like, I guess we didn't really talk about it, but for all like the car chase scene before, I think was fun. A lot of the things like the chase scenes that don't have music or like the extended car chase scenes, I kind of look at them more cynically now and go, okay, this is just to extend the runtime to fill a quota. Like that's why they drag these out a bit longer. And I feel like this rap scene was maybe to do that as well. But I just appreciate that they didn't just do another like running sequence and that it was just something different. I wouldn't want to see it again, but it was just different and I like it.
So then the gang need to find their way through the cornfield, and at this point, I want to say is that all the gang get kidnapped other than Courage and Scooby by the bugs?
Yes, and Velma was the last to get caught, but
there is a scene.
Something I'd noticed in this that I hadn't noticed before watching it for the review was that there's a brief moment where Courage turns into Shaggy, and in this sequence as well, Courage turns into Velma. So I'm just wondering if somewhere Courage turns into Daphne and Fred, and I just missed it.
When they turn into Velma, they are a great Velma.
Oh my gosh, and this is the first time I'm going to say this, not about Daphne. I would get a Courage Velma Funko Pop, and I would get it double signed by either Kate Micucci, Mindy Cohn, and Marty Grabstein, and that would just be like an S-tier collectible. Oh, and actually, if anyone's listening to this, I don't know how much time that people have, but Marty Grabstein's doing the GalaxyCon signings. We haven't done this one, but if anyone wants that, I guess I'll link that in the description.
Another funny moment that Velma gets in this is, you know, when there's this, in like the Courage series, there's this computer that Courage goes to for every answer to everything.
Is it British?
I don't know. I don't think so. But there's also a Velma computer in this, right? And the two start flirting and it's just hilarious. It's like, I was like, I feel like Velma does better here. I just don't think she's meant to be a person.
It's like, oh, I like your hardware. Do you want to link up later for a download? Oh, the PC's got a game though.
Oh gosh. But like we said, at this point the gang
I love the Courage computer. Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. Like you made a valid point. Like the Courage computer is amazing. It's funny. And it adds a character. Like I kinda like how it's not just constrained to this is the people, this is the dog, that's it. Like you get the extra characters.
It's just weird because listening to them flirt, there's like an episode of Courage where the computer turns into like it gives themselves a form, and I'm just imagining him trying to make a form for the Velma iPad so they can go off and get married and stuff.
We can just take Velma. She's going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Bye bye. Okay, so like we said, at this point it's down to Scooby and Courage, and they get this rescue sequence with it's overlaid by a song that's something like the opposite of Nowhere is Fun. I like the song.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I do too.
And a lot of cool stuff happens in it with like the transformations and even them seeing the mystery gang kind of like tied up in the dark. It was kind of creepy. It was nothing compared with like Courage creepy, but I guess I like how they tried to blend the two worlds together.
That's valid. So ultimately, as always with Scooby, you get an unmasking. They unmask the mayor, and it's like, okay, we get this. This is formulaic. It's fine. But then there's a further unmasking where they unmask Cats and the Quack, which is two iconic Courage villains, and I think predominantly Daphne and Fred are like, no, like, let's unmask cats. And how do you get this little robot duck thing? And it's like, okay. I guess that's kind of like them trying to do their formula thing.
Yeah, I also need to get in here that in the chase sequence they have 8-bit Daphne, and I'd really want an 8-bit Daphne Funko Pop. But
That'd be really cool.
I know, I thought we'd lost Smash for a minute there. Because it said RTC
sorry.
disconnected,
Okay.
I'm so sorry. But I want an 8-bit Daphne Funko Pop, that's my main point. Because they do one for, I think when we went into the collectibles shop like months and months ago, you know, like the kind of block Lego TMNT Ninja Turtles? And I feel like that style would have been
Doesn't
great
your brother
for
have a
8-bit
Mario
Daphne.
on?
It's an amiibo, I think. I'm pretty sure that's an amiibo.
Amiibo.
Amiibo! Oh, I need another amiibo. Can we get a more
Can we get a
amiibo?
Daphne amiibo? No.
No, Daphne's not in that franchise.
We-
Although she should be. She should be, really. Daphne should be in every franchise.
You know what I want?
Ooh.
Complete different tangent again. I know we're past the days of Toys to Life games, but those were some of my absolute favorites, and I have always wanted either a Hanna-Barbera or a Warner Brothers like Disney Infinity-esque game, if you guys ever played that, but just, all these different franchises and worlds coming together, and it's like you have I mean, I guess you could kind of say Lego Dimensions a little bit too, but like you have these specific worlds for these different franchises. So I'm going to use the Disney Infinity example. So like, there was in the base set there was the Incredibles, Monsters University, and Pirates of the Caribbean. And you had these play sets, is what they were called, and you had one for each property: Incredibles, Monsters University, Pirates of the Caribbean, and those were these specific worlds to those specific franchises, and only those characters could go into there. But it was a like complete original story that they did. It was like a game in itself. It's like you got an Incredibles video game and Monsters University video game, etc. Within this big game, and then everything you unlocked while playing those worlds ended up in this what they called the toy box, which is where you basically could just take everything you just collected and just dump it and play with it however you wanted and figure out, oh, what if I put this incredible superpower with this cannon from the Pirates of the Caribbean, a ship or something, that's a really odd example, but I've just like always wanted a version from Warner Brothers or Hanna-Barbera and just like mesh Scooby Doo and the gang with all these other properties and just like, and that was the point of this specific game, was just they tried to make a digital toy box, and so like everything in the game was supposed to be toys and looked like toys, and so it was just like, you were dumping out your toy box as if you were a kid, and I'm like, I want to dump out all the toys of Warner Brothers or something and play with them. And anyway, that was a complete random tangent because we brought up Amiibo, and I'm like, and I also like the actual figures that they made because they looked really cool. Not only did they have a function, but they looked really cool to put on a shelf. And I'm like, can you imagine like Scooby Doo and Flintstones, Courage, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, like these really cool figures, like that just like they have they're distinctive enough to their own property, but since they all belong in this one game, they all look like they're part of this collection. And yeah, anyway, that's a complete different tangent, but it's just something I've wanted for so long.
No, I mean, it sounds really fun. I think I missed out on a lot of these Toys to Life things. Like, I never did Disney Infinity or Skylanders, but I think the closest is legit, like, Amiibos for me. And especially like the Amiibo cards for Animal Crossing, where you can use them to summon in different islanders, but that's not really Toys to Life, that's more Cards to Life.
Yeah, that's true. But it does sound really fun, and it'd be really cool, like, imagine just a plain Scooby-Doo one where you could like input your like villain for that or your monster for that game.
Can you imagine getting villain figures? Oh my gosh. Okay, another complete random tangent, sorry. So it was probably back what? Don't hold me to that. But there was this like board game that had come up on oh gosh, what do they call it? It's a site where companies can go and like pitch these ideas, and you can basically like pledge and like give a certain amount of money in hopes that they can make their goal and get this product out and whatever. What it's called.
Nick- Not
Anyway,
Kickstart, Startup.
Kickstarter.
It is
That's
Kickstarter.
what it is. Thank you. Kickstarter. Thank you. So, there was this set of board games that had come up that this company was trying to push out, and there was one for like Teen Titans, one for Looney Tunes, and there was one for Scooby Doo. And I, obviously looked at the Scooby Doo one and everything. And anyway, it was supposed to come out, I believe, this past November, but thanks to COVID, it got delayed a bit. But anyway, I did the full pledge. I gave them the full amount, and they actually made their goal well before I even put in any sort of money towards it, and so I was pretty confident that we'd be getting it. And anyway, it's this. They're just calling it Scooby Doo, the board game, and they're making like specific figures for this board game of each of the members of the gang. There's going to be one for Scrappy. There's going to be a bunch of villains. I believe there's going to be like the zombies. There's going to be Space Kook, the witch, the Black Knight. I think the Ghost Clown and Captain Cutler, and just so many different things. I think there's going to be a little mystery machine, but they're actually sizable. They're not like these little mini. They're not going to be like the size of minifigures. They're going to be like actual action figure-esque size. They're just going to be more statues. You're not really going to be able to move them, but they're going to be very like pretty, like you want to display them type of thing. And then the last thing that they had announced, like, if you did the full pledge and whatever and did it by this day or whatever, which I'm really excited about, you get this exclusive like box for the game that is it's the gang all huddled up, and like they have flashlights or whatever, and then all around them are a bunch of the villains kind of creeping towards them or whatever, and so like looking at it in the daylight or whatever, you see that picture and it it looks like they're all just kind of hiding or whatever. But then what I'm so excited for is it's glow in the dark. So then in the dark, it's all the flashlights are lit up and all the eyes are creeping on them and whatever. I'll have to send you guys a link to it if you guys haven't seen it, but I'm so excited for it. I just got an email on it today for an update on their progress and stuff, and that's probably why I was thinking about it. But I'm like so excited for this because I'm like, I don't even care about the game itself. I just want to display all these things because they look so freaking cool. Anyway, there's my tangent.
That does sound amazing. I feel like you're gonna need another Scooby shelf soon. Because
Yeah.
we've seen like the shelves are getting full, and like ours too. We've only just
full.
bought 2 new bookcases for them, and it to like display stuff nicely, and they're already overflowing. And it's
I'm gonna need a whole Scooby room at this point. Like, can I, Nikki Blake? She's got it going. Can I get a room like hers?
Yeah, like, can we just need to hire them and help us out, or at this point we just combine forces and we all just get ourselves a museum, or we could overtake the museum that they use for Scooby-Doo too.
well, we were talking in the Smash or Pass group chat that we should get the mystery machine, the original one, and turn that into a Scooby
true.
museum inside with all the stuff in there.
Ooh, I would love that, but
That
do
would
we
be
have
good.
enough I think we'd need the limo from the sequel, wouldn't we?
Let's do it.
This right.
Yeah, let's get the limo. Can we get a mystery machine RV?
Oh, we just need. I think there's a lot that we need because again,
We
like
need
we were saying,
everything.
everything is just overflowing. Although luckily I'm out of money now, so I don't think that anything's going to be added to it for at least a good 10 years.
It's our anniversary on Wednesday. We've been together 4 years, and I've got him 12 Scooby gifts, I think. So
Yeah.
there's not
Tell me what
space
they are.
on the shelves.
Wait, we've been together for 12 years?
No, we've been together 4 years, but I got you 12 Scooby gifts.
Oh, thank you.
And there's just not space.
I've got you some very special things.
Thank you.
I've got you an autograph by Smash.
Woo!
Woo!
You are welcome. You don't have to
Thank you,
me.
Smash.
Sell it on eBay. Put my scent all over it. Just like spray cologne on
Oh, we can make candles. The Smash candles.
it.
This is so cool. I like these tangents, but I guess Millie can probably help us rein in.
So, what did you think to the unmasking? Were you expecting the mayor? Were you expecting Cats and the Quack? Because honestly, I think my opinion of this was like, I didn't care about the mystery. To me, it was just fun seeing the Scooby and Courage crossover. Like I said, I loved the dynamics with Eustace, with Muriel. So I didn't really care for the mystery. I'd not really thought about it. Did you have any opinions on the unmasking, I guess, JB?
I love that it was Cats and the Quack, because going through season 1 of Courage, Cats was my favourite villain, like, ever. And it was just great to see them, and they were, like, hinted at a clip in the museum here. I guess my issue after the fact is I kind of wish that it was Cats and the Quack from the start, instead of there needing to be an unmasking, because I think that would have been cooler just to see more of them. Yeah,
like having there been an unmasking of an unmasking, and then Daphne and Fred try and get another unmasking. It's like, okay, bit far. But Smash, what did you think to the unmasking for this one?
So, I'll say the unmasking itself was fine for me. I think it pleased both worlds enough, you know. But my thing was, before this movie came out, there was actually a lot of drama because the cover art for the movie accidentally leaked early on a site that was going to sell it in, you know, a different country, and a lot of people thought it was fan art, and there was a huge debate for like 24 to 48 hours that this was fake and stop posting false news and don't get our hopes up, blah blah blah. And I was like, guys, seriously, compare the cover art of this to the last few. I was like, they look identical. Like, you can't, I don't know, unless someone's that skilled to do exactly that art style, you know, which is not out of the question. You know, I'm sure people are very talented and could do it, but like, I just don't see someone taking the time to do that, you know, just to be like, ha ha ha, gotcha. Anyway, so yeah, there was a huge debate. There was so much drama, and everyone was like, "No, this is fan art. This isn't real." Blah 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 blah. And then it was almost like Warner Brothers saw and were like, "I guess we better set the record straight." And so they were like, the trailer just kind of like, again, as we talked with Marty about, just kind of appeared, and it was like, "Hi." And obviously, like, listings went up elsewhere, and it became available pre-order on Amazon, or not Amazon, iTunes. And iTunes accidentally, for a little bit, listed actually the entire voice cast. And so if you saw, which I did, Cats and LaQuack voice actors were listed, and, you know, actually listed as their characters too.
Oh god.
And so I actually knew really, really ahead of time that they were going to be in the movie. And so as soon as I saw that and saw the trailer, I was like, it's the mayor. They're posing as the mayor. So going into this movie, I was kind of the same. I didn't pay attention to the mystery. I was like, I'm just going to have fun with this movie because I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that was good. And then it kind of like rounds off with a nice party at the end, which again looks fun. Some good music. It's nice. So I think for me that concludes all my points on the movie. Anything either of you want to add before we go to the verdicts?
No, I'm alright.
Okay, so I guess as always, JB, we're gonna start with you now. I want to point out at this point, this was the last one we were going to do. This was going to be the last Smash or Pass, JB.
No, this is not the... Well, this
is what we set out to do.
This is what our
and now we've got so much more ahead of us.
Zombie Island to this is actually weird. I can't tell if it's taken a long time or if it's just gone by in a flash. I can't tell you. Probably Smash will know because Smash is the one that gets pestered by us every week. Well, like,
now it's multiple times a week.
Yeah, multiple times a week now, but...
And not by us, by you.
What do you mean?
I'm an innocent person in all this.
You're not. You're awful. But yeah, I guess...
Smash or Pass, JB?
Oh gosh, so... For the last time ever, probably not.
Until next week.
So this is just really fun, you know, it's something that raises my dopamine levels, I jam to the music, it reminds me of just like a fun version of the old classic movies, that it's just a lot of fun, and then there's like a really cool like music scene, and then it just wraps up. I don't think it's, again, as up there as the old original movies, but just because it's like, you can tell that the creators had so much love for both Scooby and Courage, and it's just a lot of fun, and so I could watch this a lot more times and not really get too bored, so I'm gonna smash this one. What about Millie?
I agree with you. I think it's a lot of fun. I feel like I said, I was enjoying it and didn't pay attention to the mystery itself, and I feel like to that end, the movie must have been good to be able to be that distracted from the mystery itself, if that makes sense. Not only that, but I do just love how the characters from the two worlds like just work together so well. I would love, like JB said, like even this weird little twist of fate where Eustace turns out to be Shaggy's grandpa or something. And I would watch more of these movies with stuff like that happening. So I guess we normally say smash or passes if we want to see it again, and I definitely want to see not even it again, but like more of it as well. So to that end, it's a definite smash. So finally, Smash is your verdict for this movie. Would you say for Straight Out of Nowhere, Scooby Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, smash or pass?
Okay, so this movie, I definitely going into it. Now, I haven't seen all of Courage. I still haven't. I was trying to watch it all before the movie came out, and then life took over, and I only got through... I don't know if I got through all of season 1 or like most of it, but anyway. And so there's still like a lot I don't know and haven't seen, but this movie definitely felt more like a Courage movie starring Scooby Doo in the gang, not Scooby Doo movie starring Courage. And so to me, this felt like a weird series finale for Courage that never happened, which is fine. And maybe I'm reading into that wrong because I haven't seen all of Courage. And so, I mean, I still had fun with it. Again, there are like behind the scenes stories that I've heard that, again, I don't know how true they are or anything. But that they like had to rewrite a lot of things and they had to reuse a lot of animation. There's one shot that I'm like, I know they had to pull something from Guess Who for those shots, because there's just some shots of Velma that I'm like, they were lazy and did either lazy or ran out of time and did not want to reanimate her, and literally just like pulled her face from Guess Who and plopped it into the movie. I was like, you know, they borrowed a lot of animation stuff from Guess Who for this movie, and again, that's just because I've heard that this movie was very rushed because of disagreements on the story, and so they had to like completely rewrite it in like a really rushed time. I don't know how true this is or anything. That's just what I've heard, and there's just some things within the movie that I'm like, okay, I can see that being true. And so, although I don't feel like it's the most in-depth Scooby movie ever, I have to say this is definitely one of my favorite Scooby Doo crossovers that's ever been done. And so, although I've only watched it once, again, that's just really because life has taken over and I haven't gotten a chance to be like, hey, let's pop it in again. I definitely will smash this one.
That's amazing. So it's a unanimous smash for Straight Out of Nowhere. So I guess that leads us on to two things: community news and what exactly happens next week, because I don't think we've fully put these movies in an order. So
I guess just to start things off, I think Smash has probably given us the best community news of all, which is the board game. Like, I think that's probably one of the coolest things that I've heard in recent years, and I didn't know about that before, so that's incredible.
To get you guys that link.
Oh gosh, yes.
we'll include it in the description if you've got it over tomorrow.
I don't have any news personally, unless I'm forgetting. I've probably seen something. I've just blanked the last couple of days. There's those statues that they're trying to sell for 200 quid. There's these weird looking Stitch things. That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
And I've got nothing either. So anything else community news wise for you to add, Smash?
Nothing from me at the moment.
Okay, perfect. So the next thing that I guess we wanted to establish is the movie we're doing next week. So we narrowed it down to chronology wise and everything that it only makes sense that we either do Scoob and then go into like Boo Brothers, Ghoul School, Reluctant Werewolf era, or do that era and then Scoob. So I believe, JB, you said it was going to be between Boo Brothers or Scoob for next week, right? And that you wanted to vote on it now.
I was gonna say Boo Brothers because I think it would be better to do all the animation ones in one lot and then move on to the others, which are either CG or live action. So I'm thinking Boo Brothers.
Smash, would you prefer Scoob or Boo Brothers?
It'd be smart to go back to Boo Brothers first.
Okay, so with 2 votes, we're doing, well, there would be 3 Boo Brothers next
Wait, were you
week.
gonna say Boo Brothers?
Yeah, I like Boo Brothers. And I also really like Ghoul School, so I just want to get around to that as quickly as I can.
Ooh, so we are getting scarily closer to the last episode ever, but I guess this wraps
4
up
years.
our time doing the mainline, yearly releases as we know them now, which is amazing. I think that's a really special milestone to reach. I didn't think we'd get there because I thought I'd die of old age or something, because
JB,
I just love it. But I love doing this. I think that the next era is going to be so interesting because each one of them is so different and distinct from one another. I just think that these are going to be probably some of the best episodes that we've done.
I mean, JB's getting ever closer to that 2002 episode.
No, that'll be you, Smash, and Rihanna. I'll have to step out.
Okay, so with all that in mind, of course, we'll be back next week for Boo Brothers. Anything else to add, JB? I think that's it, right? So all the links that we talked about in this video will be in the description below for Smash's channel, of course. The board game, if we can get the link for that, that'll be below, and also the interview that we did with Marty Grabstein as well.
I guess I should possibly say, although, let me just think, because this is probably way too early, but I'll just say this for the record. Our second 2002 special interview will be announced on the 1st of next month. So do keep an eye out for that announcement. I'm going to do something, oh gosh, in the community page on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. So do keep an eye out for that. Because, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for that one to go out.
All I can say is oh, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh Lord. But yeah, that is incredible.
Thank you so much for listening. Like we said, links will be below. Subscribe to the channel for more of these episodes, for the Scooby Doo related interviews, and so much more. So yeah, thank you for listening, and goodbye.